riders, we don't always know what the horse is going to do underneath us. So let's take our ball and we get a nice seated position to start with. I'll adjust my camera. Good, so our feet are going to be hip width apart, as well as our ankles, knees. Good, and we've done this before. I'm just going to sit side on so you can see what we're doing. Just a nice seated position, so shoulders over hips. Draw that belly button in, and we'll just start with our imprints on the ball. So tucking that tailbone under, coming back to that nice neutral position as you breathe out. 1 second, I'll just let Barbara in. Good. So we're getting that nice pelvic tilt, that roll with our pelvis. Breathing in as we tuck under, breathing out. Get that nice neutral position with our lower back. Good. If you feel like you can't quite get those deep abdominals firing, just put those hands above your head. Just get them firing a little bit more, waking them up. Good, keep that nice breathing going. Breathing in, tuck that tailbone under, breathing out. Coming to neutral. Good, 2 more times. Lovely. And then coming back to your resting position, arms down if they are up. Good. So we'll get some of these side muscles working now. So again, think about that nice position, and we're going to bring our right hip up towards our right shoulder. Swooping down, left hip up to left shoulder. Keeping that nice neutral, but almost trying to pinch those muscles between your hip and the ribs. Lifting your hip up towards your shoulder rather than your shoulder down towards your hip. So I shouldn't see any shoulder movement going on. Just pelvis is rocking side to side or hitching up, hitching that hip up. Good. And again, nice breathing with the movement. Breathing out as the hip comes up towards your shoulder. Breathing in as you come back to neutral. Lovely. A couple more times. Really getting those muscles firing. Trying to keep our knees under control as well. Trying to keep them still. Lovely, and then back to our centre. Let's bring our arms up above our head. We'll combine all those movements together and we'll do some nice circles with our pelvis. So again, shoulders kind of stay still, knees as still as possible as well. Get those nice circles, almost tucking your tailbone under. As you bring your hips forward, coming back to that nice neutral. Good. Breathing. Good, and we'll just change direction. Just have a little think. Does one side, one direction feel a bit harder to do than the other? Do you feel like you're making circles or oblongs? Really slow it down if you feel like you're doing a bit of a square or an oblong, just to get that control. Need that control with our pelvis, especially in the saddle. Good. One last circle. And then arms coming back down into our riding position, as if we're holding the reins. Keeping that nice shoulder over hip, neutral spine. Draw that belly button in. And for the new ones, we're just going to slide our 1 foot forward and back again. Breathing out as we slide forward, breathing in as we draw that foot back in. Yeah, just try not to lean back as you slide that foot forward. Your posture stays stacked, or your shoulders stay stacked over your hips. Good. For those who've been doing this for a while, you can lift your foot up Just make sure pelvis, your seat blades stay level with the ground, so nice and even. Good. You might find if you lift one foot up you might collapse a little bit through one side. If you're finding that, arms above head, again, just gets those muscle firing, gives you a little bit more stability. Good, breathing out, straighten your leg, breathing in, coming back in, whether that's off the ground or on the ground, doesn't matter. Good. Nice and controlled. It's not about how quick we can get our leg out and in. It's about developing your stability and strength. Good, couple more times on each leg. Getting that nice tall feeling through your spine, so you're light in your seat as well. Good, and one last one. Fabulous. Arms back down. We're going to come up into standing. Just a little bit of a flow movement, just to get a little bit of mobility through our hips and back. So let's grab the ball either side. Feet hip width apart, nice soft bend in our knees. Breathing in, lifting the ball up above our head, and almost getting a little bit of extension through our upper back. So breathing up nice and tall, arching through your upper back. Good, and then we're going to come up onto our toes. So make sure you've got enough space above you. I'm really conservative, doesn't always have the biggest amount of space. Good, we're going to breathe out, keep on our toes, ball coming forward, hinging at our hips. Right down to the ground, back onto your heels, roll the ball towards your shins, and then slowly bring yourself up into standing, getting that nice stacking feeling, drawing in your belly button as you do. And then again, same principle, lifting the ball up above your head, getting that nice arch coming onto your toes. Good, hinging at your hips coming forward. As you breathe out, ball hits the ground, heels come onto the floor. Roll the ball towards you and creep up into standing. Lovely. We'll do this 2-3 times. Just getting your balance as you lean forward. Really gets those back muscles firing, especially around your spine. Calves working quite hard. Good. Leaning forward, breathing out as you do. Ball comes to the floor, heels on the floor. Ball back into shins. Lovely. Draw that belly button in as you come up into standing. One last time. Making sure you got a soft bend in your knees. Lovely. Good, and when the ball hits the floor, leave it on the floor and then bring yourself up into standing. Fabulous. So ball's in front of you. We're going to come astride on the ball. So if I see, so my knees are going to come either side of the ball. Toes tucked behind. So we can get in that nice position. Knees, hips, shoulders. Lovely, I think we're all there. I'm just going to turn. Good. So tucking that tailbone under, getting that nice breath in, securing your strong core. Hands doesn't matter, but I like to put them in a nice position as if I was riding. Nice breath in, and then as you breathe out, we're going to squeeze the ball. Breathing in, relaxing that pressure. So really targeting our adductors here. Lovely. Breathing out as you squeeze. Breathing in as you release. Lovely. If you've been doing this a while, you want something a little harder, stabilise rise through one leg and squeeze in with the other. So you're kind of targeting a little bit of a squeeze through one side more, alternating each side. But again, keeping that nice posture, so tucking your tailbone under, belly button in towards spine so we don't get any back arches. Good. Breathing in as you release, breathing out as you squeeze. Good. 3 more times. And again, feeling nice and tall through your spine. Good, and last one. Fabulous. So from there, toes on the ground, we're just going to rock back till our heels hit the ground. So we come into more of like a deep squat. This one's quite a good one for you jumpers. We have a little bit of a forward tilt in our upper body. And it's exactly the same principle. Nice breath in, squeezing the ball as you breathe out, breathing in and relax. Good, and you can make it harder for yourself, bringing those arms up above your head. Just add a little extra weight if you want to, otherwise keep those arms tucked in. And feeling nice and grounded through the balls and the heels. Yeah, they often in squats say, come back onto your heels, but actually we're riders, we've got stirrups. Don't want too much of an angle in that ankle. Good. Last 3. 2. Lovely, and last one. Good, so just widen your legs slightly so you can release the ball. Straighten our legs, hands on top of the ball, and we'll just roll forward. Just get a little bit of a stretch there. You can rock back and forth onto your toes, onto your heels. Nice soft bend in our knees. Good. Get that nice breath pattern going, breathing in, breathing out. Good. Just a little bit of a recovery. Good. And roll in the ball back up and bring yourself into standing. Lovely. Let's bring our legs a little bit closer together so we're hip width apart, or shoulder width, doesn't matter. Good. Hands on top of the ball. Sinking down with our hips, we're going to come into a squat with our arms out straight on top of the ball. We're going to lift one heel up and then we're going to alternate. So as one heel comes up, the other comes down. Keep drawing that belly button in towards your spine, making sure your knees don't go too far over your toes. So we get a bit of a good technique going on. Good. A little bit more upright with your body position mark. Good. And then from here you can make it harder. You can lift one arm up. Alternate each arm. And keep your breathing going. So really working the back muscles here. Not giving us a lot of stability through our ankles. So really having to use our core to stabilise yourself. Good. Nice and slow with the arms. Lovely. Couple more times with the arms. Good. Both hands on the ball. We'll just straighten our legs and just roll yourself out. We're just going to do that exercise again, but we're going to vary it a little bit. So a little bit of a break, just rocking back and forth on your toes, on your heels. Good. Breathing in through our nose and out through your mouth. Good. Good, rolling yourself back up into standing. Good. Sinking down into our nice squat position as we did before. Then we're going to roll the ball out to the right hand side. So for this exercise, make sure your knees point forward all the time. So as your body switches around, your whole knee doesn't come round as well. There's pointing forwards, just twisting from your body here. So it's exactly the same principle, coming onto one toe, switching over. So you're heel raising, alternating each side, and then you can add the arms in. We're really using our core in kind of a different position here, working it all the way through the range. Because it's good if you're strong in one aspect of the range, but it's really good if you're strong through all the range of your muscle. Gives you that strength and stability in whatever position your horse throws you in. Good. Couple more times this. This way. Lovely. Pop on the heels. Back down, just straighten your legs for a second. Roll the ball to the other side. Good. Squatting down. You're going to really feel your legs burning on this one. Good. Squatting down, belly button in towards your spine, making sure knees don't go over toes. And again, just paddling. One heel up, the other down. Bending through your body, making sure your knees stay forward. Then adding in the arms if you like. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth with your movement. Lovely. Good. Couple more times. Really pulling that belly button in and putting both heels back down, ball to centre, and then roll out one last time. Back in and out, onto your heels, onto your toes, getting that nice stretch. Lovely, a little bit of recovery, then we'll go on to our little bit of a challenge. Good, so just enjoy that stretch for a few seconds longer. Yeah, going a little bit further if you can with the stretch. Good. Pull that belly button in and then walk your ball towards you, drawing yourself up into standing. So a few of you have done this one before. There's lots of variations we can do. So for the beginners, feet hip width apart, we're going to tuck the ball in towards our shins. We're going to put a little bit of downward pressure on the ball with our knees. Hands in front, just draw that belly button in, but we don't want a strong contraction. We want about 50%, so a nice light contraction with that belly button. We're going to rock forward till our toes are on the ground. And then we're going to rock forward a little bit more and hopefully lift both toes off the floor at the same time. So we come into 4-point kneeling, but on the ball. Now don't panic if you're new at this. As soon as you panic, your muscles tense up and then you end up falling off. So the key here is to find that centre of gravity, but allow your body to move with the ball, but use that strength, that reaction in your core to bring you back to that centre of gravity. Good. So for those who've done it for a while, you can either lift your arms up if you're there, one at a time, or if you're finding it easy, we'll go the arms. Good, or there's a couple of you I know you can come up into kneeling. So lifting up your body, coming up into your kneeling position. Just going to turn and face so I can see what you're doing. Good. Lovely. Good, Bex, if you want to add your arm movements in as well. Out to the side, out in front. Claire's making it look easy. Good, keep that nice breath pattern going. Key is to breathe. Nice, Joe. You got this, Alice. Tuck that tailbone under. Just allow the hips to come forward a little bit more. Turn and face your cabinet so you can put your hands in front of you rather than to the side. That's it. So you can pop your hands on top so you can keep up there. Just use your hands to stop you from coming off. Nice. Good, Tina. Few more seconds. Claire, you're doing really well. Barbara's up there. Try not to grip with your toes, Mark. Good. Joe, try and do your arms if you can. You're looking very stable on the ball. Just one arm, just even if it's 5 centimetres off the ball. Amazing, yeah. Perfect. Lovely. And when you're ready, I'll just come off your ball. I might give you a little bit of homework to try at home each day. Progressions there. Good. So, I'm standing lengthways on that mat. If you're on a mat, if you're on a carpet, then anywhere really. I'm going to take a nice wide stance with our legs. Good. And with our left leg, we're going to turn it out 90 degrees to the left, so it's pointing towards the short edge of the mat. My left hand's on top of the ball. So we're going to incorporate a bit of a yoga pose with movement, so that warrior we do sometimes with a little bit of movement. So tucking our tailbone in, draw that belly button in, right arm comes up and over as we lunge over our left foot, rolling the ball away, coming back up to our starting position, and then again, breathing in as we come over, breathing out as we come up. Good. And like we were sat on the ball to begin with, you're almost drawing that hip up towards your shoulder, especially on that right side. So we're not using the ball to bring ourselves up, the ball's just there, we're rolling it, rather than leaning on the ball. So it should feel like a nice strong contraction, that strong core as you come up into standing. Get a little bit of a hip movement in there as well, which is good, especially as we're normally quite tight. A couple more times this side. Lovely, and last one. Breathing in as we come over, breathing out as we come up. Good. Keeping that nice wide stance, we'll just bring that left foot back to point forward, and our right foot now turns out to the right. Right hand on top of the ball. Same principle, left arm comes over, lunging down on our right foot, pulling that belly button in towards our spine as we come up into standing. Lovely. And with our feet, just think about push, especially in that right foot, pushing through balls and heels. Good. Don't be afraid to go a little bit further in the lunge if you can, even if it's a nice stretch on that left side. 2 more. And last one. Fabulous. Bringing our right foot back forward, keeping that nice wide leg. We're rolling forward on the ball. And we might feel a bit more of a hamstring stretch as we rock back and forth. If you like, you can lunge one side to the other to get a bit of an adductor stretch as well. So hip shifting one side to the other. Getting that nice stretch through the adductors, especially if you're tight through there. Yeah, drawing yourself back to the middle. Let's walk our feet in towards us. Till they're hip width apart, and then bring yourself up into standing. Roll that ball in towards you. Fabulous. Right, we're going to come into kneeling. Both knees on the ground with the ball to our right side. Good. Right elbow on top of the ball. With our left leg, we're going to come outstretched. Good. So draw that belly button in. So our core really has to work hard here to keep us nice and stable throughout the movement. Left arm comes up and over. Nice breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to bring elbow to knee. Back in again. If you need to put your leg down in between because you're a little bit unstable, by all means do. If not, try and keep it hovered. Good. Breathing in and then out as you bring elbow to knee, and you're almost lifting up through that right hip. Bex has got extra hard work today because the dog's really testing her core out, jumping all over her. Good. Breathing out and in. 2 more. Lovely. And last one. Fabulous. Leg comes back down, just shift or roll the ball to our left side. Good. Into kneeling there, and our right leg comes out. Left elbow on the ball. Good. Get that nice position, nice tall feeling. Draw that belly button in, right arm up and over. Breathing in and then breathing out as the elbow comes down towards knee. Getting that nice crunch. Also using that left hip, pushing up so we're not slumping through that side. And you'll feel it working. You really have to use your core because you can't balance too hard on the ball. Otherwise we might fall over and lose our balance. Breathing in, stretching out, breathing out. Coming in. Good, last 3. Good, 2. Lovely, and last 1. Good. And back round. Lovely, so we're going to turn and face the ball. Or bring the ball in front of you. We're going to roll up onto the ball, so our toes on the ground, and wrists are underneath our shoulders. Good. When we're all there, loads of you done this before, we'll go, if you're new at this, just draw that belly button in, and we'll lift one leg up, pop it back down, breathing out as we lift up and alternate each leg. Good. And then once you find that stability, we'll go opposite arm, opposite leg. Trying to keep our pelvis, or those hip bones, put even pressure through the ball. So we're nice and stable. You might find one side a little trickier than the other. If it helps, just tuck that tailbone under slightly. Just gets the deep abdominals engaged. Good. Breathing out, extending. Breathing in as it comes down. Really trying to focus on our glutes here as well. Squeezing the glutes as your leg comes up. Trying to emphasize the glute, making the movement instead of your hamstrings. Lovely. Do a couple more. Breathing out, extending arm and leg. Good. Breathing in as it comes down. Lovely. So you can then just roll a little bit further forward. So it almost feels like your toes are going to come off the ball. And again, get that nice security through your abdominals, pull that belly button in. As we breathe out, we're going to squeeze through our glutes and lift both legs up. To make it harder, you just roll backwards. So your body has to work harder with more weight. If it's a little bit too hard, then just roll a little bit forward. But just make sure that belly button's in, you're almost tucking your tailbone under so we don't arch through our lower back too much. Breathing out as legs come up. Breathing in as they come down. Lovely. We'll do two more. Good. And then on this last one, we're going to hold our legs up off the ground. And this is where our core comes in, that reactive core. We're going to lift one arm up, keeping our legs up, then just alternating each arm. Good. Feeling that nice evenness through your hip bones. Getting that nice squeezing through your belly button so that security's there. To hold you in that nice position. Squeezing the glutes, keeping the legs up. Good. And keep breathing. Just do a couple more on each arm. Keep tucking that tailbone under. Lovely. And then rolling backwards, toes on the ground. Bring yourself back up onto your knees. Good. Have the ball out in front of you. We'll just do a couple of cat-cows. So we're going to bring our pelvis over our heels, almost rounding through your spine as the ball rolls towards you. Coming up into kneeling, rolling the ball out, almost trying to get that nice extension through your back. Look up if that helps. Rolling the ball towards you, getting a bit of a C shape with the spine, nice round curve, stretching out, looking up, getting a bit of an extension. So it's just a little bit of a cat-cow in a different position. Lovely. Couple more. last one. Stretching out, get that nice extension. Lovely. Right, so from here we'll shift onto our back, pull underneath our heels and our legs outstretched. So make sure heels on top of the ball, toes pointing towards the ceiling. We'll start with our arms down by our side, but our palms facing upwards. And then I'll show you the progressions after that. So the principle, again, is just to get your core reactive, get a nice balance throughout your body. So we're going to start with an imprint like we do with a bridge. Draw that belly button in, lift those hips up. Coming up into a bit of a straight bridge, I suppose. Shoulders, hips, ankles, keeping those toes pointed towards the ceiling. Holding it for a few breath cycles. And then coming back down. Putting your pelvis down evenly, so left and right side coming down at the same time. And again, lifting those hips up. To make it harder, we just take our base and support away. So either coming to your elbows, taking your hands away, or lifting our hands or our arms straight up towards the ceiling. So you only have your shoulders to balance on. Good. Don't forget that imprint to start. Holding it at the top for 2 or 3 breath cycles. Allowing your body to adjust itself. A bit like when we're on top of the ball in that 4-point kneeling. Good, pelvis coming down, nice and even. Lovely, we'll do this a couple more times. Don't worry if you can feel it in your hamstrings. It is a bit of a hamstring workout as well. Good injury prevention, this one. Good. And one last one. Lifting those hips up towards the ceiling, making sure toes are still pointing forward. One's not out to the side and the other one's straight up. Squeezing through your glutes. Holding it at the top. Keeping your breathing going. Don't hold your breath at the top there. Lovely. Hips coming down, and then we'll roll the ball to us and away from us. Just ease off those hamstrings. Good. Arms back down on the floor. Good, and we'll just end on one last exercise before we stretch. Good. Lovely. So the whole foot's going to come onto the ball this time. So knees come a little bit further up towards your chest. We'll start with our hands down, palms facing upwards to begin with. Take a nice breath in. Imagine you start with that imprint. So draw that belly button in towards your spine. We're going to push through the ball and lift our hips up into a bridge. And then coming back down. Keeping that belly button tucked in. Good, so that's kind of a beginner variation. Again, you can bring those arms up to make it harder. So you're really having to coordinate your muscles through your body to keep those hips nice and high. And get that nice smooth movement up and down. Good. And then to make it even harder, for those who've done it a few times, as your hips come up towards the ceiling, our knees come out towards the side, so we come into a bit of a butterfly. Knees come back in, and then you bring yourself back down. So you get a bit of a hip movement at the top there, having to really use those glute meats. Nice. Keep breathing. Good. So when you're at the top there, Bex, instead of moving your hips to the side, bring your knees out to the side. Nice. Good control here. Do this one last time. That's it. Nice, Bex. Good. And then just roll the ball to you and away from you a couple times. Lovely. Fabulous. So we're just going to bring the ball around to the side so we can hold the ball in our hands. Our feet are going to come down, but they're going to be the width of the mat, so quite fairly wide. We're going to place the ball up above our head on the ground. So it gives us a little bit of an anchor. And then we're going to roll our knees from side to side. So we get a bit of a hip rotation, nice mobility through the hip. But if you like, as your legs or your knees come to the side, push that hip up that's left the ground. So as your knees roll to the right side, push that left hip up. Just emphasises a little bit of your hip flexors. As the knees come to the left, push that right hip up. Good. And use this time just to calm your breathing down. With the movement, or even just breathe out as you go into the stretch, just helps a little bit. Lovely. A couple more times each side. Good. And one last one. Fabulous. Good. Bring the ball around the side. We're going to come up into sitting. This is where you need your cushion mark or your book. So we're going to have our legs quite wide with the ball in the middle, like so. Lovely. Hands on top of the ball, trying to get that nice tall feeling through your spine, and we're going to roll forward, so we're really targeting a bit of your adductors here. And just take those nice breaths in, breathing out, just almost let that breath out, relax your chest down towards the ground. Or if you feel like you're tensing up a little bit too much, just come off the stretch, so you're feeling the stretch but not as intense, just so it's nice through your muscles, enables you to relax through them instead of tensing up, kind of counteracting what we're trying to do here. Good. Lovely. Couple of breaths. Good. Rolling the ball back towards you. We'll go over to the left side with the ball and roll the ball away. So we're getting the left side through our hamstrings, but you almost might feel a stretch of that right lat there as well. And you might find one side's a little bit tighter through the other. Good. Breathing in and out. It's good to stretch those lats out. Often find riders clamp through them sometimes. Just to stabilise yourself. Lovely. Good, rolling the ball back up. And then we'll go over to our right side. Again, targeting right hamstring, so behind the thigh and through that left side of your upper back, maybe right down through to your pelvis. Yeah, nice breath. In and out, breathing out, trying to relax through those hips, relax through your body. Good stuff. Rolling yourself back up. And this last stretch, we don't need the ball fall, so the ball can just pop to the side. We've all done this one before, so we're going to tuck our leg in front of us, one leg behind. And we're going to roll forward, lean forward over that front knee, sliding those hands. Good, so you feel a stretch in your glute that you've leant over. If it's not much of a stretch, let's go into our pigeon pose. So the back leg extends outwards and you roll up onto the leg that you've got in front. Again, if that's not much of a stretch, then the leg that's in front, that foot just comes further forward a little bit. So it doesn't tuck underneath your pelvis, comes further outwards to the front. Good. Coming onto your elbows if that's easier, just to support yourself through. And again, nice breath in, relaxing through the hip, especially the one that's in front, or the leg that's in front, that hip, just breathe out and relax. Quite easy to tense up through there. And quite a big stretch, good. Feeling that nice stretch through the muscles. You might even feel it in that back leg and hip flex if you did pigeon pose. Good stuff. And coming out of that stretch, if in the pigeon pose, just roll onto your side. A little bit easier to get out of it. If you're in that first position, then we're just going to tuck our legs round to the other side, so the other leg in there in front. Leaning over, or extending the leg outwards, backwards even, into your pigeon pose. And again, just varying it slightly if you need to. That front foot slides forward. Coming onto your elbows if that's a little bit easier. Nicer through your, good. And again, using the power of breath, breathing out, relaxing through the hip that we're stretching. You might feel a stretch, but is it fully relaxed? Yeah, breathing in and out. Nice calm breaths here. Good. The last few seconds. Lovely, and then just bring yourself back into sitting. Fabulous, well done guys. Good session. Some movements are a little bit different, but it's still going to work your core for what we need in the saddle.